On today's episode, we talk about gender bias in the funeral profession, Facebook Live questions, and our Stop Being Stupid segment. Welcome everybody to DISRUPTu, episode number 2. I'm your host, Ryan Thogmartin, and this is the funeral profession's most disruptive web program, web show. We're going to hit on some touchy subjects, at least one touchy subject today. So, first episode, thank you for all those who engaged on YouTube, answered our Would You Rather question. We need the would you rather question off the desk. So the would you rather question last week got a lot of engagement. It seems like everybody would rather have 10 separate 100-year lives. The kicker was if they could keep the wisdom that they gathered the previous life of 100 years. So I am the same way. I'd rather have 10 100-year lives. Hopefully I can keep the wisdom, carry that on through. Thank you. All right, so let's get into the show. Spud me. Caught the first one. All right, this is the touchy subject. This has been a conversation pretty heavily on connecting directors over the last year. We put an article out today that has been shared a few hundred times about gender biases in the funeral profession, gender equality. Look, so my opinion on this is I don't own a funeral home, but I do own a company in the funeral profession, and we are outnumbered 3-to-1 female to male, the ratio. So I have no problem with women being in a power position. If I owned a funeral home, I would absolutely have a female funeral director that ran my funeral home. My opinion is this: I feel that women in the funeral profession are generally more compassionate. I think women in general are more compassionate. On Funeral Nation, our funeral director spotlight, over the past 21 episodes, over 50% of the spotlight has been on women funeral directors. So we know in mortuary schools, the majority of the population is women. So in this male-dominated profession, typically, we are seeing a lot of women get into the profession in power positions, being funeral directors, being arrangers, being the lead embalmer. So I feel like this is really, I can't get into why there's equality. I don't know why there's equality. I think that the old generations of funeral directors still own their own funeral home, so there's still that power struggle. But I really feel that this is a topic that doesn't get talked about a lot. We see some mainstream articles on it, but women are just as qualified to run a funeral home and to be a funeral director as any male that's out there. I do think that women have qualities of a funeral director that are more natural than men, being their compassion, being heartfelt. Not saying that male funeral directors are not compassionate by any means, but this is a big topic. I don't have an answer as to why there is a lot of inequality, but I think that is starting to go away. It's not the 1950s anymore. Thank goodness we're in 2016, and I have no problem and think that it's a great thing that there are more women in our profession changing the game and are being put in power positions because they offer a completely new perspective on how an arrangement should be ran and how taking care of a family should be ran. So this is a very touchy topic. I'd be interested to hear your comments below on why you think that there has been such a unequal presence of women in the funeral profession. But again, now that is starting to go away, and we're seeing a much equal presence, and I think that's extremely, extremely positive for our profession. Spud me. Number 2, Facebook Live questions. So in episode number 5 of the now dead Ask Kids social show, we did an entire episode around Facebook Live and my prediction that Facebook Live will trump the live streaming companies in the funeral profession. There's been some people that disagree. More people do agree with what I said, but I want to answer some questions because there's some miscommunication of what people think about Facebook live stream and actually how it works. So, number one, funeral webcasting services aren't fitting the needs of funeral homes because live streaming isn't new. There's Ustream, there's been Spreecast, there's been Google Hangouts, YouTube, Periscope, livestream.com, Justin.tv. Livestream has been around for years, but what the game changer is, and no, these services didn't make any bearings in affecting the funeral profession at all, right? The difference with Facebook Live is all of these combined probably weren't reaching 1.5 billion people on a daily basis. So it's the power that Facebook has to put live streaming into the pocket of every single consumer that engages with it. And remember, there's 1.5 billion that engage with Facebook every single day. So no, these other live streaming services didn't play a factor, but never has live streaming been so accessible. I also think that there's a big misconception that funeral homes need to offer live streaming through Facebook. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about the consumer coming in without asking anybody and not buying the web services or web streaming services a funeral home offers and using their smartphone to stream a funeral on their own. It's gonna happen. And one of the things that was brought up, I'm gonna find it here from Dale Clock. Dale, thank you for asking this question. He said, Ryan, checking this out on Facebook. I believe that you can only go live for 30 minutes at a time. Until that is expanded, it's still not viable. Plus, there is little demand for live funeral broadcast. The demand comes with a on-demand service. 100% correct on the on-demand service. The live stream aspect, it isn't as valuable. However, Facebook does not get rid of that live stream. It is after the live stream has ended, it gets put on the user's timeline as a normal video would. It can be shared from there. And Facebook even lets you download content now that is on your Facebook page. So you can even download that video as well. At some point, I believe that they will allow you to actually record the video to your camera's camera roll or to your iPhone's camera roll. But no, it doesn't go away after the live stream has ended. So it still adds that on-demand feature. And the 30 minutes, you can stream much longer than 30 minutes. This morning I've been on so far a 4 hour and 20-minute live stream on Facebook, continuous. So 30 minutes, I don't know where that came from, but no, Facebook even says on their website, the longer you live stream, the more opportunity you have to hit your fans and followers. So they recommend at least live streaming 5 minutes to an hour. So longer than 30 minutes is just fine. Last point I'll make on Facebook Live. How long does the video stay on your page before it's deleted? Indefinitely until the user deletes it. Number 2, Brian Love says, right now it's basically Periscope, hold your phone and film. For those who want quality or have a large chapel, need for Zoom, will there be a broadcaster device? I have no idea. Facebook does have a Facebook beacon that they put into businesses now for Facebook check-ins. Possibly they could have hardware. I don't see Facebook getting into the hardware industry. There are phone manufacturers that make high quality cameras, make high quality mobile devices that stream in high definition. My guess is that a consumer in the front row is going to hold up the camera and they're going to live stream it. The need to be able to zoom, I don't think that's practical. I don't think that anyone live streaming through Facebook is expecting a entirely HD experience. I believe that there's going to be a user that's going to walk up front. They're going to be in the front row and they're going to live stream, and a funeral director is not going to tell them to sit down if the family doesn't tell them to sit down. So I don't feel that the high quality issue is going to be a factor because the consumer knows what they're getting with a live stream. So just wanted to clear up some misconceptions about Facebook Live. If you have a funeral home and you have used Facebook Live, or you have a family that has used Facebook Live to live stream, please comment below, reach out to us, let us know what that experience was like. Okay, question number 3, we are tying this in. Spud me. Thank you for spudding me before I said spud me. So last one. This is going to be our hashtag SBS, Stop Being Stupid segment that we're going to have in every show. And today I'm going to hit on funeral companies who spam. So listen, single-handedly in the funeral profession, suppliers and vendors, funeral companies have ruined the LinkedIn experience by spamming. It is ridiculous the amount of push, sell content that goes out by suppliers in the funeral profession. They spam every single private group that they're accepted to. They spam every public group in the funeral profession, providing zero value. If you want to be effective using LinkedIn or any other social channel as a vendor, you've got to give before you sell. You got to provide value. There are plenty of conversations where a supplier could come in and make a conversation, make a point, add value, and not have to sell. Exactly what we're doing with this show. So from the perspective of building my own brand and building the brand of DISRUPTu, our social media agency, we're providing solid value continually every single week for free. I'm not charging you for any of this information. So give before you ask. The same thing is happening on Facebook. You're going into groups and all you're doing is pushing out content that is irrelevant most of the time. It pertains to zero of the conversation that's happening. If you actually sat back, digested some of the conversations that are happening on the groups, on the pages, in the groups on LinkedIn, around the funeral profession, the topics and conversation that are happening there, if you digested them, you could provide insight and value that would be far more beneficial than you coming and posting random articles that you have written, random links to your website that don't populate correctly. Look, Facebook supply companies are doing an absolutely terrible job on social media. It is 100% spam. There are a few customers and there are a few companies that are doing a great job. ASD, Funeral One, just to name a few. Thacker Caskets, Astral Caskets, doing a great job on social, providing value and engaging. So I encourage you to step outside of the push and the sell and start coming into the value and giving the engagement and giving the value to the funeral director that is engaging in these groups. Okay. Show is coming to an end, so we're going to ask our question. This is our would you rather. I've got 3 options here. Last week we did one about life or death, so this week we're going to go with this. Would you rather be able to fly or read minds? Answer in the comments below. Please subscribe. Subscribe. Until next week, keep disrupting. Oh, by the way, don't forget to send us your questions on a Spud. Remember, the first person that sends us a Spud with a question will receive a Disrupt Media swag box. Also, even if you aren't the first person, for every Spud we get in the mail with a question or topic you want me to discuss, we'll be donating $1 to the Funeral Service Foundation. So send us your Spud. Spud me.